Hello tarot readers, today I'm going to do a review on a deck that I've had for a long time but I've only opened it today, which is the Medieval Scapini deck by Luigi Scapini. Luigi Scapini is also the artist who did the Shakespeare Tarot, Romeo and Juliet, and he's also well known for doing the missing cards of the Visconti Tarot. I think there was about 14 cards that were missing from the original Visconti Tarot, and he did them cards. So he's very, very well known. He's also done other tarot artwork, so he's quite well known in the tarot world for his amazing work. Mine is the box set. You can buy it as a box set, without a box set, and mine's in Spanish because I'm in Spain, and but you can get it in English, not a problem. Mine's by Gia Publishing, in a company in Madrid, and the cards are US Games licensed. Now, first of all, let's talk about the size of the cards. The cards have got these beautiful backs, absolutely gorgeous backs. Because Scapini did the Visconti Tarot, he was, you know, very much into kind of that medieval and them old looking decks. And you can tell the influence here. These backs are trying to... This deck was only made in 1984 or 1980 something it was, and yet when you look at them it just gives that feel that they're a reproduction of a really old deck. Let's compare it with my Rider-Waite Tarot, and look what we have here. We do have a difference in size, and I do like big decks, so that's fine with me. The fact that they're longer makes no difference to me. I really enjoy the bigger the deck, the better. The only thing about this deck is that I love laminated decks. I prefer them so much more than the horrible cardboard decks that, ruin so quickly. The lamination decks normally last me a long time, but this is over laminated. I mean really laminated. All my cards are out of order now because they've flown over the table. In the last hour that this deck has been open, they have flown absolutely everywhere so many times. I'm really hoping with time that will ease off. So now let's get to the cards. And this is a Temperance card, and again, like I said, they're completely out of order because they keep flying everywhere. And you'll see with the Major Arcana, you have got this beautiful gold background in all the Major Arcana of this deck. Absolutely gorgeous. And she looks very Oswald Worth there. And we do have so much influence in this deck of cards from all other tarot decks. So we've got the Strength card. The Strength card here is number 11, which means Justice will be number 8. So that's gone kind of back to the other numeral system, which is fine. That's fine with me. It makes no difference to me. This deck is so full of influence from other tarot eras, other tarot generations and tarot decks, very famous influences in the tarot world. But also you've got all this like Kabbalah and all this astrology thing going on, all these little symbols in the background. I haven't read the book yet and I've had no time to study this deck of cards, but what I'm seeing so far, the quick look I've had and the quick little bit of research I've had over the course of my tarot years, it's just so intense, this deck. Absolutely so intense. The Devil card. Sorry, that was the Hangman. The Devil card. And then we have the Pope. Very out of order. I'm very sorry about that. But, this is again very Visconti. The Lover's card. And you'll get Marseilla's influence, you'll get Oswald Worth influence. I mean, this floor is very Oswald Worth, isn't it? And you get Atella influence, so much Atella influence. And you've got the red with the blue behind there. So when we're not looking at Atella, we're looking at Oswald Worth, or we're looking at Rider-Waite, or we're looking at Marseilla, or we're looking at the influence from Levi. So we've got so much influence going on in this deck of cards. And then, of course, we get these random cards from the artist's imagination, where he's kind of just put on each deck what he wants. The Hermit card. This was the Chariot card. And I'm yet to go through all the symbolisms. beautiful Hermit card. This is the card that to me was like the crunch breaker of the deck. This is the reason I wanted this deck of cards. I didn't know it was going to be so amazingly beautiful, and so I only really wanted it for this, because this Emperor card is actually a portrait of Stuart Kaplan. Now, Stuart Kaplan, if you don't know, he's the owner of US Games, the company behind this deck of cards, the publishing, the game company behind this deck of cards. US Games, Stuart Kaplan, not only is he a massive influence in the tarot world, he's got one of the biggest tarot collections in the world. Can you imagine that? The biggest tarot collection in the world. What a dream that would be. But also, you know, it's thanks to him that we're able to get the type of tarot collection that we have today. Even though these decks, you know, come from Los Caraballo or Lewin or all these different publishing houses, it was US Games that kind of made tarot very easy accessible, and to be able to experiment with different types of decks and have the kind of collections that we've got. So this guy is, you know, he's one of the people that I think is such a massive influence in the tarot world. He's kind of our generation's, you know, big influencer, and just to have him on a card created by Medieval Scapini, made with US Games copyright on there, and being Stuart Kaplan, an amazing card. I was so excited about this card. I know it sounds crazy, but it's, you know, it's one of my passions, and just to see him on there, absolutely brilliant. We've got the Phil card, very, very Visconti. You know, you got the feathers in the hair. Just looking at him, it's like, wow, it's come direct from the Visconti Tarot. And then we've got, you know, we've got this, the sun card. So we've got the two children, like we get in the typical Marseillaise. But the horse, this white horse, is so prominent, so there in front of the sun, that it also gives me that Rider-Waite type feel, even though there's only one child in the Rider-Waite. Just give me that feel of Rider-Waite. And then you've got this Justice card, and this is straight from Visconti. You know, you look at this and you're like, oh my God, that's a Visconti horse. I've seen that before. And what I love about this deck of cards is the more you go through all these cards, the more you're saying, I know that card, I know that card, but I'm sure I've got a deck with that, with something from that card on it. And in one card, you may get several different influences from several different other tarot decks. That's amazing. You've got this really busy Tower of Destruction going on here, the House of God. You've got all this going on. And, you know, I don't know if you can see it, but we've got, I'm hoping you can see it, we've got like this fool, the Joker as we know it, the Phil card falling. He looks like the Phil from the Marseillaise falling from the tower. But then here, we've got these traffic lights going on. You know, so, oh, you can't really see that. Yeah, you can. You've got these modern day traffic lights going on. This is crazy. This is crazy. And it makes it so adorable. Absolutely adorable. The Star card. She looks kind of distorted with that long neck and that arched back. But at the same time, we've got these beautiful stars in the background. You know, them astrological, cosmical symbols. Absolutely love it. And that beautiful long blonde hair. And we have the Death card. The Death card, very Visconti again. Very Visconti in the sense, you know, in the Visconti Tarot, he looks like he's holding somebody's spine, the bones of somebody's spine. And we've got it here again. He looks like he's holding somebody's spine in his hands. You've got these people in the water. I believe I read once or somewhere that this is Luci Scapini's head here in the water, so he's kind of done a little bit of a portrait of his head. I'm not sure who these two people are. You've got this beautiful bird here. Wow, it's all going on, and even the borders are very, you know, they're so beautiful that they kind of match this deck. They fit in this deck. You've got the moon card, beautiful moon card. Absolutely gorgeous. You've got the duality of the moon, where you've got the two towers, you've got the dog, the wolf, the big crayfish, very much as we know a moon card. But then you've got this guy at the top, which I would have to read the book to find out the symbolism, but he looks kind of like, you know, one of the three kings. That's what I'm seeing him as. He does look like one of the three kings. What that's about, I don't know. You get these kind of stranger cards. This is the Nine of Wands. I'm not sure if this is, you know, Leonardo da Vinci or not. On this Three of Coins, it kind of looks to me definitely like Leonardo da Vinci. I could just look that up and find out if it is Leonardo da Vinci. But if it is, it makes perfect sense on the Three of Coins anyway. But there's so many cards that won't make sense. And that's fine. Just use your inspiration and your intuition and let the symbols, let the images guide you. This is definitely not a deck to learn with. You wouldn't want to learn the tarot with this deck of cards. But it's definitely a deck to have in a collection. Such an inspirational deck. And I can't wait to use it. I can't wait to let the pictures talk to me. Medievalscapini is not a tarot reader. This is the Ace of Coins. You know, there's a child missing, but it does look very much like the World card from the Visconti Tarot that had another child helping him hold this up. So, you know, there's so much going on in this deck. You would not want to learn with it. You would want it in a collection, though, for sure, for sure. I'm really looking forward to working with this deck. Keep going in. I'm sure every time I work with this deck, I'll find something new. You know, all these coins have got different little stories and activities going on. So it's a never ending of what we can learn from this deck of cards. And then you've got this really kind of random stuff going on. Like, for example, this Seven of Coins. Seven of Coins looks, you know, very casino, very gambling, absolutely nothing to do with the kind of symbolism I know about the Seven of Coins. Never ever read anything about gambling or, you know, card playing or anything like that in the Seven of Coins. So how that will fit into my reading will be exciting to find out. The World card. You've got so much Worth influence, Oswald Worth, so much Marseilla's influence, definitely 100% Visconti influence going on here. And then we've got the Levi coming through, and we've just got so much other, and Atella. I mean, God, the amount of Atella influences. That's what I love. You could spend all day going, this is from Atella, this is from Oswald Worth, this is, you know, this is from that. You could just spend the whole day. This is the King of Swords. The Empress. Oh, this King of Swords has got, literally, he's got spades on his head. I'm not sure if you can see that very well. I don't know why that's doing that. But the spades on his head takes you to the poker decks. And, well, it takes me to the poker decks. And that's how I learned to read the tarot when I was a little girl, was with poker cards. So I'm absolutely loving this deck because we've got these poker influences. The Empress card. You know, I really can't wait. And on the minor cards, we haven't got that gold background, but we've got this beautiful cream background anyway. And this is supposed to be a self-portrait of Scapini himself, drawing the Magician card from this deck, which is the Magician that's got a massive influence from the Visconti Tarot, and that's his wife and daughter. I mean, how amazing is that card? How amazing is that card? This is my favourite card in the entire deck. And if you're thinking, who's that girl? Yes, we know that girl. She is the Nine of Coins from the Rider-Waite Tarot. She's the lady from the Rider-Waite Tarot. So how amazing is that? Just to, you know, be going through this deck of cards and seeing all this old symbolism and then seeing, you know, these Rider-Waite touches and that. It's fantastic. We've got kind of like the horse's ass in our face there. I think Medievalscapini has an amazing sense of humour. It doesn't matter that he's not a tarot reader, because he may not know the meanings, but he certainly knows a lot about symbolism, and he knows a lot about tarot decks. The Two of Cups, the Five of Cups. Well, what we've got with this Five of Cups, as you can see, is this lady in the bed who looks like she's dying. And then we have 5 men with massive cups around her. and one man at the bottom of the bed, and it looks like he's actually writing her last rites or her last testimony. Whatever's going on there, I'm not too sure about. There's so much in these cards. I'm pretty sure I'm going to love this deck of cards. I know that. This is the Page of Swords. And then we have this Three of Swords. And look at this. This is just so beautiful, this deck. I love this deck so much. If we look at this Three of Swords, it is absolutely nothing like the Rider-Waite style of Three of Swords. It's nothing like any kind of Three of Swords we've seen before. But then, just take a look here, and we have the fill from the Visconti Tarot, the fill from the Marseilles Tarot, and the fill here, which I feel I can't see it very well, but it could be from the Mantenga Tarot. How amazing is that, to see all these different fills? Now, these three people look rather very upset or very sad or very angry that he's going. And even the pig looks a bit peeved at him for going. So what all that's about, I don't know, because like I said, I haven't got into the books or the background on this. The Six of Swords, which we know is a traditional travel card. There's nothing traditional about the meanings in this deck. You know, Medieval Scapini's gone on his own and yet at the same time pulled from all these amazing tarot decks. But we have got the horse, so we have got the travel in this card. But as you can see, it looks like the horse has come to a place where he can no longer get past. And, well, the person has been thrown from the horse. So that's the end of that travelling for him. The Eight of Swords. You know, I can definitely get this part of the Eight of Swords. I can work that part out in my mind. But all this bit going on down here, no, I can't. Maybe it's, you know, the owls of wisdom, the owls of the night time. Maybe he's feeling trapped because he's working throughout the night, studying throughout the night. Maybe he's being judged. It feels very much like he's studying at the night time, and that's why he's feeling so tired. It may be nothing to do with that. Maybe the book will tell me a bit more about that. I don't know. This Ten of Swords. Wow, how amazing. How amazing is this? We've got these two women here who look quite hysterical, like they're in pure grief. And then we've got these yellow flowers, which I love. I love yellow flowers anyway. It reminds me of my nana. And then at the top of each sword, we've got these like 10 men with 10 daggers, and there's blood dripping off these daggers. Now, yeah, I can get that with the Ten of Swords, because we're used to seeing like the big sword stabbed in the guy's back with blood coming out of him, this blanket of blood. So we're used to that. Whether this is some kind of, you know, kind of the 10 guys who killed Jesus Christ, maybe it's nothing to do with that. I'm not sure what's going on, who these 10 men are, but they do look very Roman, so maybe it's connected to that in one way or another. I love the way he puts like these things on top of the sword heads. And this looks very much the Four of Swords, but it's not. It's the Nine of Swords. So, yeah, I can kind of get that. Even though we normally see the coffin in the Four of Swords, he's made this massive puzzle out of the swords above the man trying to sleep. And down here, he's got this guy in pyjamas. So it's like, well, yeah, it can't be the Nine of Swords. So you're going to have to make it fit. Just absolutely love it. And this looks very much the Ace of Cups. Looks very much looks quite Rider-Waite. You've got this dove, you've got this massive cup, and then you've got this heart here, and you've got the rain, the waterfalls coming down, the rain, the tears, however you want to see that water. It's a beautiful cup. It does remind me very much of the Rider-Waite. And then the Queen of Swords. Beautiful Queen of Swords. And in the background here, we have two witches on broomsticks flying. So that's amazing. And then we also have what looks like a funeral car going past, which would, of course, fit in with the old traditional kind of way that she is the widow card. And in the Rider-Waite, we can see her being the widow card because she has a bracelet, the widow's bracelet on her hand. And in this card, we can see it because there's a big funeral going behind her. So, yeah, that makes sense to me. Oh, wow, look at this. Ah, look at this. This is the Nine of Wands. And as you can see, you've got these, like, leaves that are making cups. The clubs in the poker deck. So we've got another reference to the old poker cards going on here. Because as we know, clubs are wands. The clubs from a poker deck are wands from tarot cards. And they've actually he's made that reference. And I just love it. I love it. I love it. So I feel I'm going to spend the rest of my day. I don't want this video to be too long because it's, it could be very, very long. I could spend the whole day doing this video. But I'm going to spend the rest of the day taking a proper look and having a really good look at the symbolism. But I wanted you to feel that excitement of a deck that I don't really know what's going on. And at the same time, my first kind of impression. I did a review before. And now this review, and it's like I said, I only opened it an hour ago. I love this deck. If you want something that's connected to the old, something that you can be excited about, something that will get your juices going, your inspiration going, and something that you can really look at and say, oh wow, I feel like I'm holding an old deck. I feel like I'm holding history. I feel like I've got it does feel like you've got, the whole tarot history in your hands. And go for this deck, go for it, definitely go for this deck. If you want to learn tarot, just put it on a shelf for now though. I do not recommend you learning tarot for this. So I hope you enjoyed my little review of this deck. If you do like the deck, don't forget to touch like, and if you like this review, if you want to see more from me, hit subscribe. And you can share me around social media if you want to. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.